Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about light and color. So one of the first things that you may already know about color is that it has temperature. Colors can be either warm, as in the colors I'm sure I don't need to tell you, the yellows, oranges, and reds, those are your warm colors, or color can be cool. And this, of course, would be like your blues, your greens, your purples. And these colors, looking at a picture with certain colors, can either raise or lower your body temperature. And just to kind of give you a little example right now, I'm looking at the picture of the boat. I will admit it's a chilly day, and I am getting goosebumps just looking at it. So what I need to do is shift my attention over to the orange leaf and think about the warm sun in that picture. So here's a nice example of warm colors. Oranges and yellows and reds. We're going to talk about the emotional connotations that colors have. And the warm colors tend to be very charged emotionally. They make us feel a lot of things. Another thing to know about the warm colors is they tend to push forward on the on the image. Okay, so colors push forward. They jump out at you. For an example, think about a school bus. Why are school buses yellow? Okay, because you want them to jump out at you against a dark, busy background. So warm colors really attract attention. And as I was mentioning before, can make you feel warm. And I'm starting to warm up looking at this beautiful sunset picture. Okay, conversely, cool colors can make you feel very cold. They are more subdued. They're less energetic than warm colors. They're more subdued. And whereas the warm colors push forward, the blue colors tend to recede into the background. Blue colors are very soothing to us. They calm us down. We associate it with tranquility. And so that push-pull relationship between the cool and the warm, I wanted to show that to you here. I think this is a great example of how that dark blue sky seems to go back into the distance, and what happens is those bright yellows, they just jump out at you, so they kind of almost seem closer to you than the blues do. Okay. Color is very strong as far as emotion is concerned. Color, it probably reaches us on an emotional level more than any of the other art elements. And there is a lot of meaning that we associate with color. For example, red, a very exciting color. Because it is a warm color, it draws our eye, it attracts attention. It can literally increase your heart rate. And it is also a violent color. People associate it with passion, but we also associate it with violence for obvious reasons, because we see it as looking like making us think of blood, perhaps. Common known fact, you may or may not know, but cops tend to pull over people in red cars more than any other color car, even to the point that people driving red cars pay higher insurance. It's a real true thing. Orange is a lovely warm color. It makes us think of nature. Certainly we always associate it with colors changing in the fall, but it generally tends to give us a nice, warm, comfortable feeling. And if you want to make, something pop out, place something orange against a blue background and see what happens. Okay. Yellows also tend to be, for most of the time, in most cases, an optimistic and cheerful color. Probably draws the eye more than any other color. So again, back to my school bus example. Okay. We don't want to paint school buses blue. that wouldn't be good. We need them to be as visible as possible. Same reason street signs are orange, warning signs are orange. Really draws the eye. Does tend to irritate the eye a little bit. There are also studies that too much yellow can actually have the opposite effect and be very agitating, very aggravating. Really depends on how it's used. Green is cool. Green is a lush, cool color. We associate it with nature. We associate it with living things. We associate it with feeling cool, and it's very soothing, as is blue. Blue is also incredibly soothing. Remember, it tends to recede because it's a very cool color. Very, very calming, especially when it's combined with horizontal lines like the one we see here. And it can carry a lot of different emotional connotations depending on how it's used, depending on the tone. It can be very optimistic, I don't think we could dispute a sunny blue sky as kind of connoting optimism, but if it's more of a grayish blue, we might think of kind of storm clouds rolling in, and that has like a foreboding quality to it. Violet, really interesting color because it is so rare in nature. Okay, we see violet in a few flowers, we see it in a very few fruits, and we see it in very, very few naturally occurring minerals. So because of its rareness, it's considered a luxury, and it has long time associations with royalty. It's the color of wealth. If you think about the king wearing the purple robe, right? But it also does create a sense of tranquility. Okay. So color harmonies, how we use the different combinations of colors. Excuse me, I needed to take a sip of water. Triadic. Okay, if hopefully you've had your design class and you've learned about the color harmonies. So triadic is either your primary, red, yellow, blue, or your secondary, green, violet, orange. Okay. Complementary. 3 different possibilities there. Violet, yellow, blue and orange, red and green. Okay. The most opposite that they can be on the color wheel. And we can kind of look back to our little pencil picture here as our color wheel. Okay. So opposites, complementary colors right here. Analogous, colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. Almost goes along with warm and cool in a sense, because the reds and the yellows and the oranges tend to hang out. The blues and the greens and the purples tend to hang out. One of the best is monochromatic, where everything is just dominated by a single color. Okay. So I got you some examples of that. So in summary, color can be warm or cool. Warm pushes forward, cool recedes. Okay. Strong emotional and psychological and physical response to color. Okay. One thing to think about: don't shoot into the sun and don't use the midday sun. It's going to wash out all your colors and be really harsh and make unpleasant shadows. Okay. And the color harmonies, you're going to be doing this in your assignment: triadic, complementary, analogous, and monochromatic.